Hello, everyone. My name is Marco, and I'm going to be talking about in this discussion Chapter 11 and globalization. And so I first wanted to start off by just talking about what globalization is from what was read in the text. So the text describes globalization as a term that is used to refer to the integration of goods, services, and culture among the nations of the world. It's not relatively a new concept. It's been a concept that's been happening for many decades. The really big, major difference is that the advances of telecommunication and transportation technology has accelerated the globalization aspect of it. So with globalization, a lot of companies need to also understand that there's a difficult side of certain things that play a big aspect and role into globalization. So companies need to understand that there are a lot of challenges with dealing with international level, such as international employees, customers, and they need to adapt to the different cultures. The text describes a couple challenges, including the following, which are infrastructure differences. So there are some countries that don't have the right infrastructure in place to be able to do the globalization or to expand at an international level. There are labor laws and regulations. So every country has different laws and the regulations that companies need to abide by. Legal restrictions. So again, many countries have restrictions on what can be sold and how a product can be. And I'm about to give an example of that in just a little bit. And then there's of course language, customs, and preferences, um, where there are unique cultures and businesses must consider when trying to market a product there. So I'm going to go back to the legal restrictions. So in the text, it says many countries have restrictions on what can be sold or how a product can be advertised. So there's a company that is going out right now that's been relatively on the news and is making up a lot of, not making up, but there's been a lot of news about with this company. And this company is called Huawei. Huawei is a giant telecom supplier and a phone manufacturer that is based out of China right now. And so currently, right now, there has been a ban from the United States to not sell any Huawei phones or anything like that. So Huawei's trying to spread their 5G network out to a globalization level and to get that involved to sell their phones to the United States and to other major countries too. But right now, not only the United States, but there are other countries that are banning stores to sell any Huawei phones, or even Huawei phones being imported into the United States. That's also being restricted. And so the biggest issue right now and I think that falls under the legal restrictions of why Huawei cannot um, expand on the international level. This is a restriction that's a big barrier for them. So I mean, Huawei is actually one of the top five manufacturer companies in the world, really. So I mean, the number one, of course, is Samsung. These are statistics from 2019, but the number one is Samsung. Apple is number two. Huawei is actually at number three. Huawei was at number two at one point, but with the ban that's happening recently this past year, they've been dropping down. So they've been selling less phones and stuff like that. But the biggest controversy right now, and the reason why at least the United States has banned Huawei from selling phones in the United States, is they believe that the Chinese government, and they fear that its equipment or its phones are being used to spy on other countries and companies. That's a big legal issue that's going on right now. And that doesn't only affect Huawei itself, but it also affects companies like Google. So Huawei sells phones that have Android and they have the Google market. And with that being said, it limits Google from expanding their services to them as well. Um, so as far as Huawei goes, if their issue and countries' concerns are about the security aspects of this phone manufacturer company, I think what needs to happen in the Huawei's perspective is to expand a little bit more on the security aspects of their devices. You know, what are they doing on the security level to ensure countries that, hey, we are not spying on you. This is the security parameters that we have for them, and then also develop that in a marketing standpoint and show examples of how and what they're doing on a security level to protect one's privacy. What do you all think? Have you heard about this company Huawei? Is there any other companies that are similar in this situation? And what have they done? Yeah, just give me your feedback on this. Thank you guys.